Morey Stettner. I'm the editor of Executive Leadership, and I'm here with Michael Houlihan, the co-founder of Barefoot Cellars and the co-author of the forthcoming book, The Barefoot Spirit, How Hardship, Hustle, and Heart Built a Best-Selling Wine. Michael, thanks for your time today.
It's great to be back.
The focus of your book is a reflection, I gather, of your experience, your very successful years of experience, building Barefoot Cellars into a very successful national, and I guess, would it be fair to say global wine company?
Absolutely. This book is really written for folks who are interested in learning about the principles, the guiding principles behind entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. And so the book takes you on a business adventure with Michael and Bonnie, Bonnie's my partner, as we build the Barefoot brand, and we start in our laundry room with no money and no knowledge of the industry, and we build this national and international blockbuster up one brick at a time, and of course those bricks fall on our head. And so you get to see us with the roadblocks, the real roadblocks that we faced with regard to compliance, with regard to hiring, with regard to building company culture, with regard to executive management and leadership, all those things. And you see how we learned sometimes the hard way, and the idea is that you can pick the morals out of these little stories in the book.
From 1985 to 2005, give us a sense of how large the company became.
It started with nothing, absolutely nothing, and it became a big powerhouse in every one of the 50 states. It was in about 70% of all the chain stores in the United States. It was in 28 foreign countries. It was in all of the government control liquor stores in those states throughout the United States, all the provinces in Canada. It was a large organization.
How did you ramp up hiring? That must have been a tricky thing as you grew steadily over that time frame.
Well, what we did is we took a look at the problem, and the problem is not that there is a shortage of grapes or that there is a shortage of wineries. The shortage is the shortage of purchase orders. And so we focused on marketing and sales, and we hired people who were in executive management positions to oversee outsourced contracts, to have things done for us to our specs.
How do you measure whether someone has the ability to manage outsourced contracts? What do you look for in the job interview?
We look for the entrepreneurial spirit. The first thing we want to find out from the person is we want to know where they want to be in 5 years. We want to know why they left their last job, what their ideal job would look like. We also want to know, and this is really telling, we want to know if they're willing to work on the basis of a big bonus and a relatively small guarantee. And so when you get a person who is willing to work on a big bonus, two things happen. First of all, the people who are non-performers, they can't afford to work for you. And the people who are performers, they can't afford to quit.
When you say work on a big bonus, in other words, your correct me if I'm wrong, your base pay is lower, but your potential to earn a much larger bonus is greater if you hit certain incentives?
Absolutely. Basically, part of the Barefoot Spirit philosophy is, the guiding principle is pay for performance. It's the old-fashioned idea of pay for performance. You can sugarcoat it, but that's what it is. And there's, in all companies, only really have two divisions. They think that they have 20 divisions, and they think they have groups within those divisions, but they don't. They only have two divisions. One division is called sales, and the other division is called sales support. And everybody, and I mean everybody in the company, I don't care if it's a receptionist, I don't care if it's the accountant, they all work for sales, because that's how they get paid.
Is there a clear line of sight, though, between, I guess, a bookkeeper, but I'm trying to think even like an administrative assistant? There are probably roles where the HR, where the connection between what they do every day, even if they do it exceptionally well, and sales is kind of iffy or blurry.
Well, it is. However, one of the things that we did in our company to unblur that message was we showed each person in each job in the company a money map when they were hired. We actually gave them an infographic that showed how the money left the customer's hands and went through the retailer, went through the distributor, went from the distributor, went through our warehouse, went through the various different growers and wineries and stuff to make our product, went through all of the different vendors that we used to keep our organization running, and finally came out as their bonus, as their check, as their benefits. A lot of companies have this idea of need to know. We had the idea that everybody needs to know just about everything all the time. So we would tell our people stuff like, look, this is our challenge. This is what we're trying to do right now. If we can do this, this is what it means to our Christmas bonus. Do you guys have any ideas? So even though these people may have jobs that, were clerk jobs or you name it, they would rack their brains to come up with ideas and help us in our brainstorming sessions and bring crazy ideas to the table that would help people who had better knowledge of the situation. It would jog things in their brains and they would go, ha, here's a way we can do it. But what would we have done without that input? And it created a kind of a team spirit, which is even more important, is to build a positive company culture. The other thing that we did that I think really made the difference on a granular level is acknowledgement. We found that when you acknowledge people publicly for doing something that affected the financial well-being of everybody in the company, that you get more of that. And people see that they're being singled out for this. So they not only perform better, but other people now appreciate what that person does and what their job is. Again, this builds team spirit. This builds culture within the company.
This is a great insight, and all the stuff on motivation and being able to incentivize employees is fantastic. And I appreciate all your time. And Michael Houlihan, co-founder of Barefoot Cellars with Bonnie Harvey, and you're both the co-authors of the forthcoming book, coming out in late January of 2013, The Barefoot Spirit, How Hardship, Hustle, and Heart Built a Best-Selling Wine. Michael, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much, Morey.